You what?
The words feel like a giant, wrinkly apricot pit in his stomach, but he knows what he must do. I love you, he manages to whisper. And then his mother huffs and opens the door and lets him pass. Sadly, this is also still the same. The way it's mostly impossible and dangerous for Henry to use his very own voice in a way that's true. Henry steps into the fall air and runs down the rickety steps of the Every house. Now that he's out in the open, he remembers to cautiously look left and then right. A shiver trickles down his arms, and a prickly awareness goes up his spine. Because things are as dire as ever in the world beyond his house, too. Vlad Luxor is still their HRM, horrible ruler with magic, living in that black mirrored tower on Ruler's Mountain. And Mr. Needleman is still his vile right-hand man. The good people of the timeless province continue to be constantly afraid, as Vlad Luxor struts around town, staring at his reflection in store windows and mud puddles, and using his power to cast every kind of random, cruel spell. Just last week, he told Professor M. Eritus that she had a horse face, and then he turned her into a donkey. He changed their beloved produce man, Mr. Tim Apple, into an actual Macintosh Red for no reason at all, and the poor man nearly got baked into a pie. But something else has been happening lately as well. A terrible, worrisome new trouble. As if constant fear and utter havoc weren't bad enough, things have recently gotten darker and even more evil in the province. It began one day with an unusual message on the blue scrolling banner above Vlad's billboard in the town square. A message about inners and outers, others and us. And then came more such messages, and more, as if Vlad was a parrot, squawking one awful thing over and over. On that sign, he says it again and again, using way too many exclamation points, how outers and others are dangerous, how the province needs walls and walls and walls, not just the wall Vlad already built around the bottom of Ruler's Mountain, or the wall around the village at the top, but walls around the entire timeless province. When Best Fariver was their ruler with magic, RM, with no H at all, visitors from other lands were warmly welcomed. Now anyone who dares cross into their village to visit a relative or a faraway friend is locked up or shipped home. Certainly no one new is allowed to live there with them. And if you dare to speak badly about Vlad's walls, poof, you're turned into a silent centipede or a blob of gum. And maybe even worse, people are beginning to look at their neighbors with doubt and mistrust. A shameful feeling of anxious suspicion has seeped into the corners of their beautiful province. Henry and Button reach the sidewalk where Apollo Dante and his brother Rocco wait for him, along with their sister Coco and baby Otto, who is balanced on Mrs. Dante's hip. And now, well, finally, we come to a good thing that has changed since we first met Henry. Before last summer, Henry was so lonely his very soul ached. That loneliness was with him every tick-tock of the clock. But now he doesn't feel that loneliness every moment, because he has something remarkable and astonishing. Friends. Honestly, he can hardly believe it. Seeing the Dante family there is like finding a giant pile of Christmas presents under a tree. He has never actually found a giant pile of Christmas presents under a tree, but this is how he imagines you might feel if you did. His heart soars. Good morning, Henry, Mrs. Dante says. She smiles at him. She ruffles his hair. This is such a miracle every time it occurs that it's worth saying again with extra enthusiasm. She smiles at him. She ruffles his hair. Good morning, Mrs. Dante, Henry says. Hi, Apollo, and Rocco, and Coco, and Otto. Rocco and Coco aren't listening because they are busy being siblings. Rocco pokes Coco, and she says, Stop poking me! And then Coco pokes Rocco, and he says, You stop poking me! Otto only says, which surely means something quite intelligent in baby language. What's weird, though, is that this morning Apollo only looks down at his handsome new shoes and mumbles, Morning, Henry.